Gaming is just the best. I mean, where else can you put on a headset and call someone a newbie needs to your and feel really superior about it, and then talk about their mom and shit?
What? No!
Gaming is seriously the best. Where else can you feel more alive than paying for the chance of maybe getting that rare item?
Keep going! No!
Unlocking this chest is the only way I feel alive anymore.
Yikes. No. Cut.
Gaming is just the best. I'm waiting for the next Moba to be announced so I can start practicing and become the best, and hopefully it'll be popular like League of Legends and have great esports potential.
No. We're starting over. Gaming is just the worst. We love games. We live for games. We are sick to death of some things in games. Video games are in a weird spot if you think about it. One where commercialism, creativity, technology, art, philosophy all collide head on. We want new experiences in games, but have to call upon our collective history with them in order to be proficient at them. Games have to sell. When these pressures mix together with some bonus complacency thrown in, nefarious trends emerge. At first, we think nothing of them. But over time, we start to get enraged by them, yelling at our screens and our Kinects in hopes that if the NSA is listening, they can pass on our crass messages to the offending games developers. Or we can make a video about them, and that is what this is.
Let's start with some small ones, like pinging the game world to highlight loot or meaningless objects of interest. It's like developers are afraid to have the player wander around the world without something active for them to be doing. Nothing breaks any illusion of immersion more than constantly sending out little pings as you wander around. Also, gamer vision. It's difficult to be completely aware of your surroundings in a video game, I get that. Our awareness is very limited, so it makes sense that the characters we play would have an alternate vision thing to kind of bridge that gap. It's a concession that's understandable the first time, but after a while, I just miss it being motivated by a gadget like in Splinter Cell. Oh, okay, so a little immersion breaking isn't that bothersome to you, huh? Well, what about...
Ah shit, controller's dead. PS3 controllers lasted way longer.
Is it a day of the week? Well then, a new Moba was just announced yesterday. Based on the wild success of Dota and League, everyone wants in the MOBA game. But it's not likely that any of them will carry the torch the way these behemoths of esports do, let alone have any esports following. But that won't stop developers from shoutcasting every game of everything at conventions in order to show you the esports potential on display of their latest wares. So what makes a publisher think their latest game with zero pedigree will convince the community to believe in it and learn its intricacies in order for an esports scene to develop? It's the esports bucks. It's always the esports bucks. So few games will actually have big tournaments and rabid spectators. Let those things come naturally and focus on what your game does best. There's nothing more desperate than the esports plea.
Do you have too much money? Well, have we got some games for you. Ones where you collect in-game currency, but you can also buy currency using your in-real-life money. Oh, and these games already set you back full retail price. Free-to-play games have this setup, and yeah, that's a whole other conversation, but it's bleeding into paid games, where in-game items, XP boosts, and the like are purchasable with cold, hard cash. That's a dangerous game. What if enough people actually do this, and the publishers see it as a viable revenue stream? More and more content will be locked behind a steep time or real money investment, and this is a trend that will leave us all more poor.
Skimpy armor has got to go. Strapping female characters into tiny metal bras and thongs isn't going to protect them from whatever projectiles or magic being slung at them. First and foremost, boob armor is dangerous. Molding metal around a breast is a bad idea. If your lady warrior gets hit in the chest, the sharp angles of the boob armor will allow it to dig into her flesh and crush her sternum, effectively killing her. Same goes for dudes. Wearing leather pants and metal plates that conveniently open to expose their hairless, shiny chests means they're as good as dead. If we're going to be portraying harrowing battles and lifelike combat in video games, even with all those weird physics and wizard duels, we need to be better about how we outfit our characters. No one wearing armor that lovingly molds to their boobs but exposes their belly button is going to make it out of that alive.
Yo, Peter, I can't find Rob, so tell me about the trends you think need to die in video games, dude.
There's a lot. You just start up your game, you're about to enter this fantastical world that takes place in something that is totally unlike reality. And the game says, what do you want the character's name to be? Well, I don't have a fucking clue.
Start this Kickstarter for a video. This is what I get.
To choose a name based on nothing. So you say, okay, well, what's my real world, like what can I look to? Steve, Dan. Asking me to choose the name of a character before I start a game is like giving me a homework assignment that I don't want.
I just want to play the game.
That's a $4,000 bottle of wine.
We're out of it? Get more. Here you go, Tom.
Here's one for you. So you're playing an RPG and you pick up a lot of items, right? Half of them are just junk that you're never going to use. That's not that fun. Are you doing that because you want me to find the rare items and then feel better about having those? Probably, but if you were doing your job right as a game developer, wouldn't every item feel special?
You want to know where the Kickstarter money went? I'll show you.
Wouldn't everything be a great, reward for all the progress I've made, rather than picking up a gray common item that does me jack all?
Steve, that is why everyone needs to start their own Kickstarter. Because this is the way you get all of it. Get all. You? Hold on. You been recording? You're not recording, are you? You're not recording, right?